I'm Fire, and I got a question. Who's ready to make another rogue? I am. So we're going to make a new rogue, start another run. Hopefully I can do the Artisan Quest to be able to start acquiring schematics, and that way I can get better weapons and craft the better armor as well. But let's see how this run goes, see how everything is, making sure we search and all that, check the walls for hidden doors. And the game told me I finished the dungeon. The dungeon is not over. Whenever you get a hallway like this, you know there's going to be a hidden door. I can reset the dungeon anytime now though, because I got the clear dungeon screen, but there's going to be a hidden door here. There always is when it's the end of a hallway like that. So let's see how big this dungeon actually is. It's not just going to be that one room. Good, a target to start off with, so we'll be able to get aim shot right away. That's going to be very helpful. Now I just need to find a bow, and we'll be off to a very nice start. Gonna finish searching this floor and see if we find any armor or anything. Getting some starting armor. Ah, good, some leather armor is something that you always want to be able to get when you're not starting with the leather armor set. Cutting out the part where I eat mushrooms, we don't need a what's that anymore. Every game I'm working on the heritage where you can only eat mushrooms to recover your food and water until you hit level 20. So doing that every single game. Guess I'll use the studded cap and the broken sword. Slightly better weapon than what I got, but not by much, and now I have a bit of head defense. This floor was pretty boring. Nothing really special to note about it. Ooh, blessed free action. That is the most amazing amulet in the game. It allows you to have 2 turns every turn. Guaranteed. It's the only way to get that. The blessed ring of haste does not give you that. Only the blessed amulet of free action. That is going to be the amulet. Even a regular free action, that's going to be my preferred amulet. If I can get an amulet of free action, because then I'll get haste, which is very good for an archer. A whelp. Hopefully I don't get set on fire. Spiders can poison. I parried that. I haven't got into parry, really. Parry, your weapon has to have parry on it, and then you get 1 parry for every 2 agility modifier. So at 9 agility, I have a +2 modifier, and I get 1 parry. If you have 8, it rounds up, so at 8 agility, I still get 1 parry. Swords have 2 parry, so if I get 10 agility, I'll get +2 parry. However, if I had 12 agility, I would not get 3 parry with a sword. I have to have a weapon that has +3 parry on it. You can do 1 parry and 1 dodge per turn, so I can parry 1 guy, and if there's 2 guys, I can parry one of their attacks and then dodge their other attacks. So at 10 agility, I would get +2 parry, which is basically a +2 defensive modifier, and then I get +3 to my dodge. Unfortunately, both of those do not help with ranged attacks. It's only with physical attacks. So that's why range is always difficult in the game unless you're using a shield. Excellent. We have 2 dark wells. You only need 1 well because it's the only training area that doesn't break when you use it. So I could train twice for keen eye and dark vision, and I would only need 1 well. I'm going to try to level as quickly as I can now because I definitely want to get to level 6. Kind of doubt I get to level 9 in 1 dungeon, but I'm going to try to level as quick as I can so I can at least get one of those 2 skills. Obviously, there's going to be a hidden door here. Like I said, there always is if there's a dead end at the end of a hallway. One of the reasons I don't like doing slash search is if you don't see the enemies, you'll keep on searching. The game will stop once you're in danger, but I like to go slow when I don't know what's around, and that way I can listen to hear if there's anything bad around. Did this guy die from Snells? Maybe he landed on a trap or something. That's funny. Snells are pathetic. Symbol of luck is critical hit modifier. I'm picking it up just in case I want any crit, but I probably won't ever use it, but just picking it up. I could identify it and then I'd get the knowledge of the enchant. So I'm going to keep it for now and drop it back at the start. Okay, so we're level 5. Gonna take stamina so we get more life now for every life modifier. Good. Some arrows and a bow. Now we got a pretty good start going. I can do some decent damage at range. Hopefully we find some better armor and get some nice jewelry. Okay, my goal here is I want to make these two guys attack each other, because they'll try to kill each other if they're closer than they are to me. So good, they were able to start killing, and wow, he got killed fast. Luckily they don't have heroic charge yet. You usually get around level 6 or so, they'll start doing heroic charge on you, which they're able to charge you from 2 squares away. And once they get that, the warriors, both the impalers and the orc warriors, are pretty scary enemies. Past level 8, they start hurting you really bad. They're the enemies that kill me the most in the game out of any enemy. There is a living water, a water elemental on the other side of the store. I'm going to equip the strong arrows and hopefully stay out of range of its aura. Okay, it's not too close, which is good. I jumped backwards, that way I can put some distance, and we took it down very easily. Just a reminder to wait until you finish the floor to open up locked chests. That way if you get poisoned, you can teleport back to town instead of having to use an antidote potion, which is always preferable to save your antidote potion. I came back to town to identify my jewelry and also see if there's anything I might want to buy. There's a couple amulets there, like the ghost form amulet is something I would consider buying. As far as the armor goes, nothing good, and the weapons aren't useful either. So let's see. Ooh, good. Ring of Elements. As I already explained, I love the Ring of Elements. So we got a good ring right off the bat. I'm gonna sell some items to get some gold and see what our amulet is. A shock word. So that shaman that killed me last game, he would have nothing on me this game. I'd be able to annihilate even a couple shamans without a problem. They do next to nothing or no damage at all. So I'm pretty happy about that. As I was heading back down in the dungeon, I leveled up. I'm going to use the Dark Well to take the talent Dark Vision, which will give me my +1 to light radius, and also have my penalty modifier for shooting enemies at a distance. So now I can shoot enemies from far away pretty easily without missing. After eating some shrooms, heading down to the next floor, and we have an earth elemental. It's right next to me, which isn't very fun. Remember that you can keep on going back up and down stairs without wasting a turn. Earth elementals are disease damage, and their aura hits for disease damage. It's right next to me, so its aura will hit me, and it will hit me. I'm not going to try to move back. That would be way too risky because I'd have to then try jumping. I might land on a trap. So I'm just going to do the smart thing and run away. Because I already got the dungeon clear at the very beginning of the dungeon, I don't have to do anything to be able to reset the dungeon. I can just reset it now. So I'm just double checking my equipment and picking up everything. I'm gonna equip the green arrows, and that way I can use those to kill stuff slightly faster. And we are now going to reset the dungeon and see what we get. I'm going to attack the dire wolf first because bats are super weak. And I got confused. That's why I moved backwards. I wouldn't move like that normally. And fortunately, we're okay. Luckily, I only got confused for one turn. Wow, I have been failing to disarm traps like crazy. As agility, I don't have to do very many attempts. And so I should get these failures a lot less often, but I've been getting quite a bit. Now everything knows where I am, so any of the enemies are going to start coming towards me. Hopefully there's not a bunch of bad enemies on this floor. I switched to my dagger so I wouldn't use arrows, since I'm pretty low on arrows and snakes are really weak. Glad this orc's far away so I don't have to worry about it getting close and hurting me. I critically hit it, so it was just sitting there because it was confused. Nice. A better weapon and some better armor. Good, good, good. Just what we needed. I hit level 7, so now I get more life at level 7. Every 3 levels, 1, 4, 7, 10, etc. I'm able to heal even though my food's not satiated because my water's satiated. You can heal if one is. And I failed to get out of a trap again. Sometimes when you're in spider webs, spiders will spawn. The monster version of spiders can spawn while you're in there too, but it's really rare. You can sit there a really long time. The monster version of spiders are not that hard. They're one of the more easy monsters in the game. Sounds like some rats are coming towards me. Gonna use my sword so I don't use arrows. No reason to waste arrows on those guys. They're pretty easy. Just coming back to town here to drop off items I'm going to sell or items I can't use yet, like the scrolls. You can use potions, but if it's a poison, instead of applying it to your weapon, if you don't have it identified, you'll just drink it and then you'll get poisoned. So you have to have potions that are poisons identified before you're able to apply them to your weapon. I dropped off my arrows here to make more room. So now we're going to the next floor after eating shrooms and doing inventory. I know this guy's aggressive because it targeted him when I tried to use aim shot. He actually did 1 point with a throwing weapon. Amazing. I don't know where the dire wolf went. It actually should have attacked him. I have no idea why it didn't attack him. And I don't know where the dire wolf went. Kind of weird that it didn't come and attack him. I wonder if it killed something else. Now I hear it. Dire wolves have partial haste, which is why sometimes it's attacking me there twice after one of my turns. With partial haste, they'll act twice about half the time. It's like the same effect you get if you have an amulet of free action or a ring of haste. So it's another archer. They can run out of ammo. I see he's aggressive. I'm going to switch back to the sticks. I'm not that scared. But something I'm going to demonstrate, because they can run out of arrows, you can sit from far away and usually they'll miss. See, I'm missing a lot too. Works best if you're using a shield with +2 to your minimum block modifier. Then you'll get a +2 to deflection. I almost died there. And I line of sight him or LOS'd him to be able to heal up and then get him closer so I'd be able to hit him easier. He would hit me more easy too, but I needed a heal, so it was definitely a good idea for me to do that. And that's usually how you should fight archers. Like if you're a warrior, you want to line of sight them and then you can use heroic charge to then close in on them. Same with mages. Or if you're playing a blade fairy, you can jump towards them because your agility, and you'll be able to succeed with jumping much more easy. The plate armor I found here, I will use it for now, but plate armor is not great to use as agility once you get past about level 8 or so, because then the enemies start doing enough damage, the plate armor doesn't really decrease that much, and being able to dodge is more important, and you get 0 dodge in plate armor. It has a -3 weight modifier as well, and so my jumping ability is going to be much worse because now I get -3 to my jumping rolls. I'm moving backwards to hopefully allow the dire wolf to come into the light, so I'll be able to attack it before it attacks me with its heroic charge, since it can charge me from 2 spaces away. Or it can come into the campfire, but that's why it's good to light torches. That way you can see enemies from further away that don't give off light. But of course it doesn't come to the light. So at level 8, we take charisma over taking strength. We can't do the other stats yet until we get strength and charisma up to 7. Orc Shaman, going to be super easy because I have the shock ward. Don't even need the ring of elements, but that gives me another shock resist. See, it's not even doing any damage. Sure wish I had this last game, but now any enemies that do shock are going to be a joke. After running around for a few minutes and doing inventory, going back to town, going to the next floor, not going to engage these guys, just going to sit back and watch the battle. Since they're not the same races, they'll attack each other. Who shall win the battle? Who shall be the victor? It's the skeleton. And it feared me when I tried to attack, but since I let them kill each other, I didn't have to do much work, and it was pretty easy. Always make sure you let guys that are of different races attack each other. You can position yourself at times so enemies will just kill each other, and there will sometimes be like 6 guys and they'll all just be massacring each other. It's great. This floor was just one small room. Going back to town to identify a few things. First, the bow, which is unfortunately cursed. So I don't know if I want to use it. It will do the same damage. It will just increase my critical failure modifier by 1. Going to identify the studded helmet next. Hopefully it's not cursed. And it's not. Good, so we can safely equip that and not have to worry about that being cursed anymore. I also got a ring off the skeleton. Going to identify that and see what the ring is. Not that useful a ring. I probably should just sell it, but I'm going to equip it. Who knows, maybe slow or polymorph will happen at some point and I'll be safe from those. But generally, you don't need to worry that much about those. With one exception, with polymorph, there's an encounter of a guy that does polymorph. Otherwise, polymorph's not that big of a deal. Onward we go to the next floor. I hear a snake. Going to switch to my sword. I parried one of its attacks. The bad thing about parrying attacks is it can damage the weapon when you parry. So that's one of the negative things about using parry. I hear a rat or a rat swarm. I recognize what kind of floor this is. This is one of these floors that kind of snakes around. So I'll probably hear enemies that aren't actually close because of the way you can hear them through the walls and such. And another pathetic snake. We execute it quickly. There's also generally a few hidden rooms on these floors, so it's good to search the walls a lot. Here's a fire elemental. They do fire damage, obviously. I'm going to keep my distance. Fortunately, I see it from far away, so shouldn't have any problem killing it. Yep, it's dead. Wasn't a problem at all. And even if it got close, at least its aura at this level shouldn't hurt me too bad with the ring of elements, and it wouldn't be able to set me on fire, which is one of the big fears of fire elementals. I see a dead body, which probably means there's more enemies around. Yeah, there's an orc. Hopefully it won't be able to close in on me. Actually happy it's throwing the rocks. Rocks, though, can damage your armor, which is one of the annoying things. Even if it does no damage, it can hurt your armor. And I'm getting really low on arrows. Man, I need arrows bad. Hey! Yes! Alright. Just what we needed. I found a crossbow. I'm not a very big fan of crossbows because, as the tip explains here, you have to spend a turn resting to reload it. And it only does D3 more damage than a regular bow, and a recurve does D3 plus 1. Crossbows do 2D3. It's not really worth it for the time you have to spend reloading it. The only time I'll use it is if I want to kill something from a distance, and I don't think it'll be able to close in on me. That way I use less arrows, and I can use my bolts. So here I'm searching the... Oh, here's a hidden room right here, and it's one that has treasure in it. There's probably at least one more, if not two more, rooms like this. Literally everything else was dead on this floor. I didn't have to kill anything else. So see, there's another hidden room here, but it's just a hallway. There's always a trap in the middle of these hallways. So search really good. A spike pit. It's annoying. Now I'm going to have to go all the way around if I want to be able to teleport back to town. The funny thing is if I didn't find this room, I would be able to teleport back to town. But once I find it, I then have to explore all of it before it will then let me teleport back to town. Just need to satiate my hunger and thirst with a few shrooms before I go to the next floor. So there's shrooms up and to the right of me. There's never a trap on shrooms or blood caps, as they're actually called. I'm going to attack the orc archer, not the snakes, because the snakes will hardly do any damage to me, if any at all. So I'm just going to keep on attacking the archer, and then I'll kill the snakes once I kill the archer. There I used the crossbow, reloaded it. Now I'm going to switch to the sword. Why am I not... Oh, I forgot to take off the arrows, so I'm dual wielding arrows. Good job on my part. Yeah. Okay, so we got through that okay. Didn't have to use too many arrows or anything. I'm not going to bother with the crossbow. It's not worth it. I do not like it. I just want to have a sword as my other weapon. That way I can use less arrows on the weak enemies. Make sure I get off those bolts again. Don't dual wield a sword and arrows or a sword and bolts. Nice. A wand. Yay! A heritage I am never going to employ. I've actually honestly never used the Trapmaster ability or talent. It's not something that seems very useful. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know anyone that's really used it. Maybe I should try to use it sometime for fun and see how it works. But I've honestly never touched the Trapmaster talent because it just feels like a waste of a talent point, because first you have to find the traps. Usually if there's treasure like that, there's not a hidden room, but not always. Oh, I must have a cursed item. Lava bridges don't break. unless you have a cursed item. So either my branch or my armor's cursed. Now, whenever I cross one of these bridges, I need to make sure I unequip my branch and my plate armor. Everything else I have equipped, identified, and I know it's safe. Or I can switch weapons and just unequip my sword, because it's whatever weapon you have equipped. Okay, that guy is aggressive, I know, because right when I did the aim shot it went to him, so I'm just gonna attack. And shouldn't be a problem. Yep. Easy battle. I should quickly explain reflex saves. You'll do a roll for a reflex save when you fall under a boulder trap or try to cross bridges and they break. And your modifier is whatever your highest stat is. So I should only need to roll a 5, I believe, with the reflex save. I'm unequipping my weapon and armor so I don't break this bridge when I cross it. It's a small chance, even with it equipped, I'll break it, but I don't want to push my luck yet again. I'll likely start using this chain armor pretty soon. The plate armor is starting to overextend its usefulness. And I'm dumb, I did not unequip my armor and weapon there. But it didn't break, and there is a hidden room. There's probably a trap around the corner. I'm searching a lot. Oh, sometimes these don't have traps. Usually they do, but not always. And there's a bat. Not very scared. Going to use my sword to kill it, not waste any arrows. After gathering stuff for a few minutes, I'm back here in town. Gonna identify my weapons, which are cursed and blessed. I'd like a recurve, but at least now I have a weapon that's not cursed. Going to use this chain armor if it's not cursed, which it's not. That way, at least now I'll have 1 dodge and only a -2 weight modifier. And let's identify some more of my items to make some money, like the wands. These sell for the most. So let's see what we get. Fortunately, it's cursed, so we'll sell for half its value. But at least I'll be making some money here. Trying to gather enough money here to do an enchant on my Ring of Elements. So I'm gathering up items to sell so I can get more than 100, because I want to have extra money so that way I have money to be able to identify something. Tomes are also worth a lot, so I will identify this and see what it's worth. Alright, good amount of money. Now enchant my Ring of Elements. See what we get here. You get 3 choices. Confuse is really good. Best immunity to have that, and fear. Agility though I need. This way I'll hit more often and I will do more damage. If you look at the question marks, that means I haven't discovered that enchantment yet. So now that I did agility, I'll know what agility is, and that goes toward a heritage. If you can know every single enchantment in the game, enchants will then only cost 80 gold instead of 100 gold per an enchantment. Finally making my way to the next floor here. Just double checking my weapons. Make sure I got the right thing equipped. Living water, 1 space away, and I have the Ring of Elements, so I'm not that worried about it. It was a pretty easy battle thanks to that. The +1 agility now helped out too. Re-equipping max arrows. And now we're gonna check for traps. I'll show you the command to search for more traps. So I'll do search/4, and now it searches for 4 traps when I look around. And that was the end of the dungeon. Sweet. this is everything I'm bringing with me. I'm taking a bunch of blood caps because I'm going to be doing the Artisan Quest. So I want to make sure I have a good supply of food. Even though I should be able to find some blood caps, I want to make sure I have some. I'm taking an extra bow in case my bow gets damaged, even though that one's cursed. I want to be able to have it. And then I also like saving scrolls because I'll be taking Literacy Common, ideally at level 12, but maybe sooner. And so here's the Artisan Quest. I'm going to be doing this now so I can unlock crafting, which will be extra nice, and I'll be able to store gold. I should also mention that this will reset the dungeon when I do the Artisan Quest. So anything that's on the ground will be gone once I do the Artisan Quest because it will give me a new dungeon. Let us begin. Whenever you do something like this, it makes this music. There's like 3 different tracks in the entire game, and this is the one it makes anytime you get an encounter or doing something like fighting the king or something like that. You get this music. So you want to search extra hard in the hallways because there's always traps in these hallways. I'm pretty sure the layout and everything's always exactly the same. I know it is with the other quests like the king and doing Gurmer, the cultist boss. Just search the hallways really good. I would do 6 searches probably. Here's our first enemy. I'm going to drop him really easily. And right now I'm full of a bunch of crap. I'm going to show you this entire quest. That way you know exactly what to do in it and where everything is. I do it pretty slowly, so you'll definitely get a good idea of where everything is. Searching this hallway really hard, and it does not appear anything is in this hallway, unlike most of the other hallways. Re-equipping my arrows. Ouch. Big hit right off the start. Trying to back up. I didn't jump because I would have to go diagonal anyways. Dang it, I took damage there from jumping. Wow, please. Oh, man. I don't have anything like that. I hit E because normally I would use something to get out of this situation. I have nothing to save me. Zilch. So I just got to try to kill this guy and not die myself. I'm going to try. Oh, nope, nothing. Oh, he missed. Thank you. Oh, man. I don't know where the other guy is. I'm not sure why he's not coming. He should be coming. He definitely saw me. Gonna try. Oh, there he is. He's gonna try to recover. And now I do strength. That's my only choice besides doing more charisma, which I do not want to do. Because once I hit 14, I want to be able to raise my stamina so I can get more life. Thankfully, we survived that. Nearly died at almost the very beginning of the battle. That would have sucked. I should explain how your stats work when you level up. If you're playing a Mel, your stats can only differ by 3. So that's why I can't do more agility and stamina because my strength was still 6. And so I can't raise it to 10 until I raise my strength to 6. And it doesn't count from enchantments. It's whatever the base number is without enchantments. Once you hit 20 though, you can then differ by 4. Females can differ by 4 right off the bat, but they can never differ by 5. Like once I hit 20, it's still going to be differing the stat by 4. But that way, once you hit level 20, you can have 7 strength, 10 agility, 11 stamina, and 7 charisma. Those will be your base stats at level 20. Yeah, see that trap there? Like I said, in the rooms without the enemies, lots of traps. Ooh, yeah, another trap. I don't think there's any traps with the rooms of enemies, but I check pretty hard everywhere because I'm super paranoid. Excellent. good start to this battle. I'm going to try to back up. The warriors here don't have heroic charge, which means I can kite them to my heart's content. Kiting means you're running away and then shooting when you can. With jump, I can just keep on running away, moving to recover some of my energy, and then shooting as I get distance between me and the warrior. If you have haste, then you can do this without even jumping, and you're able to keep on recovering energy by moving quicker. Recovering your energy is based on stamina. Trying to figure out where this archer is. I'm surprised he hasn't come and attacked me yet. Kind of weird. Yeah. Fired at me and then now he's not coming. That's kind of unusual. Usually the guys will chase you. I don't understand why. There he is. Yeah, see, I was unlucky with the other archer. He hit me really hard. He probably got piercing on a couple of the shots. So that's why I ended up taking a lot of damage. You definitely would not want to eat mushrooms in the room to my left, I guarantee. I close the doors just as a reminder. That way, even when I'm getting confused and falling asleep, I have enough time to see something smash through them, because I'll see that it gets smashed even when it's not in my light radius. I am very confused. I don't understand why the guys aren't following me. Normally they would follow me. Pretty sure the guys saw me. I wonder if they have different rules for this quest as they do to oppose to everywhere else. Because normally the enemies do not react in the way they're reacting. Normally they'll just start following you once they see you. And especially, yeah, once they attack you, like that archer before was pretty weird. I don't understand why it wasn't following me. So I had to drop some stuff there so I could pick up the items that were over the door. That way I can close it so I can eat my shrooms in safety. Ideally, I don't want to pick any of the mushrooms because I don't want to risk poison, and I'm not going to open any of the chests because I also don't want to risk poison, because if I leave then I'll abort the quest and I don't want to do that. I do have an antidote potion, but I want to be safe because an enemy could have poison on it that I would need to cure, so I'm going to play it safe for the moment. A mage, a warrior, and a crossbowman. Let's rock! Gonna move back so I can line of sight. Since there's two range, this way only one range will be able to hit me. And we got the warrior first. Thankfully, again, they do not heroic charge. Gonna jump backwards. That way I'm not in the line of sight of the crossbowman. Now I should probably just kill the warrior. Yeah, and that should be the clone of the mage, not the actual mage. At least I think. And the mage isn't coming. The mages are the one guys that are generally do act funny when you line of sight them. But usually if you move really far away, they'll then start chasing you. So I'm going to move back and see what happens. Wow, so that was really easy. Besides the very beginning, didn't have any trouble at all, even when faced with 3 guys. Man, I hate being spatially challenged. Like I said, my inventory is always full of a whole bunch of crap. Never changes. And I'm paranoid and I'm gonna search, even though pretty sure one of those guys would have tripped a trap if there was a trap in here. I am just super paranoid, so I'm going to look all over the place. And look who we have here. Now we can just open the gate and talk to the guy, and we will then be able to teleport out here, completing the quest. Yes, that lever. But hey, you know what? You're gonna have to wait a minute. I want to look around a tiny bit more, see what's going on, check out the scene. You know, that kind of stuff. So you'll have to chill a little bit longer. Sorry, feller. Alright, I guess you can finally come out of your room. But have you thought about what you've done, mister? What was that? I don't like your tone. Actually, I'm just checking my inventory because I'm super paranoid. Alright, let's get the heck out of here. And we completed the heritage. Alright. Checking the list of heritages, we now see we have Craft Delicious checked off. So now we'll be able to find schematics to learn weapons and armors that we can make. I won't be able to make very many pieces of equipment right off the bat. The heritage I want to be able to complete is Complex Tension. This way I'll make a blessed version of those bows, but I'll have to find most of the schematics to be able to craft those pieces of equipment. I can now also store my gold. This means now I can carry more crap I don't need. As you see here, I can only craft a couple of the one-handed weapons. You need materials and gold to craft the equipment. You'll never start with a soul gem, which is used to craft the wizard staff, but you'll start with a random amount of the other materials. Looking at the ranged items, I can only make the sturdy bow. I have to find the other 3 schematics for that, and 3 more schematics to make all the shields. I can only make bearskin armor, which is basically leather armor, but you get more dodge, and same with the helmets, only up to a bearskin helmet. Looking at this situation here, I see death. This is a situation you do not want to mess with. I'm sandwiched in between 2 guys. They'll kill me. There's not a good way for me to be able to get them to attack each other without me already taking a lot of damage. So I'm going to do the smart thing. This cultist quest here, it's a death trap. Just ignore it. Unlike I did when I first saw it, and it got me killed quite thoroughly. So just ignore it. It's not something you want to do until you're level 20 and your equipment is really good. So for now, just ignore it. To reset my dungeon, we're going to stay at the inn. This way I don't have to fight that battle below and probably die. It costs 50 gold. It will totally fill up my food and water. It will also increase my encounter rate, which right now is approximately 3%. It's going to go up to approximately 8% once I stay at the inn. So spending the 50 gold here to stay at the inn. Now I can reset my dungeon. We see I'm at the approximately 8% on my encounter rate, and I lost 50 gold here. Just a reminder on encounters, those happen at the end of a dungeon. That's my approximate chance of getting one. And your first encounter will always be the Dread Wolf until you kill it, which unlocks your dog, Woof, which you'll start with at the start of each game and can get quite strong once you unlock the heritages for it. Before I go down to my new dungeon, when you stay at the inn, you also get new items in the shop. Looking at my scrolls and potions, I see I have 1 scroll of the same type it has the same color and number of bands, so I now know I have a scroll of dispel. Checking out the jewelry, rings of control are good for the confuse immunity. Amulets of divination identify an item every 60 turns. Ring of haste is an excellent archer ring, gives me an extra turn about half the time. Ring of accuracy is a good low level archery ring. Amulet of illusion creates clones. They don't do any damage, but you get about 4 clones, and they're basically a meat shield for you. It's good for an archer. I can send them forward, and the enemies will attack them first because they'll be in front of me. There's a good amount of ammo here. I might have to buy ammo because I'm kind of low on ammo, but hopefully I won't. But if I need to, there's a lot in there. Now looking at the armor and weapons, seeing if there's any good enchants on them, or maybe a repeater, but there's not, so we're going down to our dungeon. Oh boy, an orc grunt in close proximity to me. Orc grunts kill me more than any other enemy in the game. They start hitting really hard now. And luckily I do not die. It critically hit me. Fortunately, I didn't get confused, probably because I'm wearing a closed helmet. It was probably only for 1 turn, which is why it didn't confuse me. Moving so that archer hopefully doesn't kill me. Oh, wow. 1 life. Man, I've had some close calls this game already. I have 2 potions that I don't know what they are. It's a good idea to identify potions. So I'm going to identify my 2 potions and see what they are. As I said before, this is a really good potion to have. It identifies any items you pick up off the ground. A potion of burning. It's blessed. When you throw it at an enemy, it will hurt them and set them on fire. If it's a blessed one, it does the damage twice. Don't use a potion of burning or you'll drink it. It's a solid potion to have if you're playing agility, but if you're not playing agility, I would just sell it if you have one identified. By the way, you can eat and drink things other than the blood caps. I'm just doing that to work on the heritage where you can only eat blood caps until you get to level 20. But go ahead and eat and drink water if you want. You don't need to do that. It's just important to know how to eat blood caps safely in case you do run out of food and water. An undead mage. They used frost magic and they can also curse you. I really don't want to fight him. He didn't see me. I should have jumped backwards so I would have been further away. Trying to wait to see if it comes. Just going to close the door. I really don't want to fight it. I'm just going to let it be and ignore it for now. I shouldn't have to fight it if I don't want to. And now we're going to go to the next floor. Trying to talk to the guy. He doesn't have anything to say, which means he's aggressive. So we shall kill him. And we get a schematic and some arrows which we desperately need. Now to turn in the schematic, you go to the repair tab and you either click it as I did or you can drag and drop it. But why would you do that when you can click it? So I got the Warhammer, which is just the same as the hammer you find, except now it has +1 to parry. All the weapons will be durable now, even the ones that aren't normally durable. And then some of them, like that Warhammer, will also have parry on them. So the stuff is a little bit better that you can craft, but it's all the same weapons and armor, just with some added bonuses. And then once you can craft the blessed items, obviously, then everything will be a lot better than what you can normally find in general. I'm searching 4 times now because I got a good run going, and this way I have a better chance of finding traps by searching 4 times. Since that water pit's there, I can safely eat some mushrooms, and I'll hear something drop in the water, so I know something's coming now. So let's see what we got that fell in the water trap. Oh, there's a hidden passage there. Kind of wish I didn't find that, because now I might get attacked from behind. And an orc grunt, which, as I stated before, I hate orc grunts. So I'm glad. Oh, another orc grunt. Going to move closer, and he hits me with a rock. Gonna shoot arrows. I'm gonna wait to kill him till he moves forward so I can get his equipment. If it dies in the water, the equipment will just be gone to waste. If it's a spike pit trap, you can actually go down in the spike pit, which is another good reason to have a ghost form amulet. Continuing on with this floor, just checking my ammo and everything. And we have yet another orc grunt. Unfortunately, I can't use the water trap. Gonna try to get as much distance from him as possible before I fight him. And throwing the rocks is actually good. That way it doesn't hurt me, but rocks can damage your armor, which is also annoying. So sometimes the rocks are a blessing and other times they're a curse because they'll break. Ow. Now I got one in my face. Are you kidding me? That is why I hate orc grunts. He might have had an enchantment on his weapon. 14 is a ton of damage. I had chainmail, so he couldn't have got the slashing proc. Man. Yeah. Orc grunts suck. So that's an end of another run, but at least we got crafting now. So we can start turning in schematics and getting our equipment crafted so we no longer have to worry about finding those pieces of equipment. Once I get the schematics, I just have to pay the gold and have the materials. I'll get more into gathering the materials next game. Yeah, there we can see all my items and stats. And now, rest in peace, Nabin number 5. Thank you for watching. This is Fire, and I'm on fire. At least I wish I was this game.